and go through these players and Tom can tell me what to do with them. Just beat Salernitana in pre-season. Just send the link over, see whether he can get on, and then we'll take it from there. So we won 3-1. Just see whether he's on there. Let me just oh, there we go. He finally made it after all the bloodshed and carnage. It's only taken an entire day to actually set this up. Hello, Tom. Hopefully you can help me out with these guys. So, we have a pretty good scout, although his judgment's pretty crap, but his experience is 4, which means we should get a lot of players. The main thing we're going to be focusing on is these existing academy guys. I just want to preface this. I hope you can hear me okay and that your connection is stable enough. They'll all be on saving. Well, it's funny you should say that because you know FIFA as well as I do. I just want to preface it with you having a look at the objectives. I hope you can see everything on the screen okay. So we'll start with the most critical one, which is the youth development. And I just didn't like default to 360 potato. Mine does that. Why does the phone, like, if somebody's streaming in 720, why would you be like, nah, I just want to watch all of the pixels on the screen? So, given the fact that in real life, I can't obviously deduct points on the game to Derby. I can't, you know, use an editor and deduct a load of money and put them into vast sums of debt. But what I can do is try and work with the game as I see fit. So what I've decided to do, as I told you the other day, was I released 3 key players. Let's see if I wrote them down somewhere. Christian Bielik, Revo Morrison, and Ryan Alsop, the goalkeeper, 68 and both 72 respectively, and I transferred them to free agency so that I could reduce the domestic success mid-table. Yeah, I could reload the Sims and just completely. But even then, I wouldn't be on minus. I'd just be on 0, wouldn't I? After like 10 games. I mean, in real life, Derby, with their record, Derby would be mid-table if it weren't for the points deduction. No, he's not going to be the surprise saviour because he's not in the team. That's what I'm saying. We had to get rid of him. So we'll start with the youth development. Short term, sign 2 players in your youth academy defender position. Ice hands. Okay, yeah, well, it's only 10 Celsius there. It's 75 here. It's boiling, so we've got the AC on. Sign 2 players in your youth academy to the defender position. That's something that the other guy's going to have to go out and look for. Sign at least 3 players younger than 20 years old, potential greater than the average overall rating of players currently in the same position. The long-term one is sign within 2 seasons, sign 2 youth players to the senior team, play them in 10 matches. We'll probably end up doing that anyway. And then sign at least 3 players younger than 20 years old. Okay. Yeah, so we'll probably do. Those will be quite straightforward. I just wanted to preface the youth academy by showing you that. And then financial short term, reduce player wages by 13 grand. If the option to sell somebody comes along and obviously they are on a relatively decent budget, then that could be something we could look at. A lot of the players that I have, yeah, that's it. They fit the storyline of not having a lot of cash. We do actually have about 4.5. I'm going to guess this. Yeah, 4.8 million. I'm probably not going to use that to buy players because that would just be unrealistic. And then the financial impact. Again, it's high and critical priorities for youth and financial. Make a 15.5 million profit from your youth player sales within 3 seasons. Yeah, that's it. That's kind of what I was hoping to do, is that if we get somebody that attracts interest, is basically, you know, okay, well, let's say, for example, Kamil Jozwiak, he's worth 3 million. If we get a bit of like 6 million come in for him, you know, just, okay, well, we'll have to accept that to reduce the wage budget and then have somebody else in from the rotation side come in. Because like I said, we're only looking to get mid-table anyway, so it's not like we have to have an elite squad straight away. So let's jump into the youth players. I want to start with the guy that I mentioned in chat before, the Danish centre-back. Here he is. So we're going to stay on this guy for a few minutes so you can have a good look at him. Yeah, I want to keep the youth scouts. I think should be like the guy I've got is a 4 and a 2, which is kind of like having a 3 and a 3 if you even it out. And I guess 3 and a 3 would be. I knew you'd laugh at that. That's the first thing that I laughed at. Now keep in mind, I'm only 1 game into pre-season, so it's not like the training. It's not. Well, don't be too happy. We've got to use what we can get. So, what I was going to show you was, if you go on the development plan for this guy, get in the bin. Normally I would, but if you look at his stats across the board. He is, let's see who that is, he's 15 years old, so he's not available yet anyway. He's 6 foot, and his preferred position is a centre-back. But he has no defensive qualities, and he has no strength, so I'm kind of like, what do we do with him? Like, his other preferred positions, is it Ostgaard or Ostigard? Ostgaard. Right, Asbjorn Ostgaard. So he's a centre-back, a central defensive midfielder, and a left-back. Now, bearing in mind, I think so, it's stopper, yeah. Bearing in mind that he's 5-star skill moves and 5-star weak foot and has no defensive qualities. I had him on left midfielder, as you can see, because I thought, well, there's no point in wasting whatever potential he has to force him into a position that he's no good at. His main strength lies in his speed, so his pace at the top there you can see is 62. His passing's already 58 rating, and obviously across the board, short passing 60, free kick accuracy is 66. He's actually more like a left back, left wing back, or left midfielder, because he's nowhere near a centre back. That's kind of where I was going with it, and by training his left midfield, by training him in left midfield, as you can see, his ball control and his dribbling gets priority. There isn't. I mean, his reactions are 47, but the guy's 38 overall, so I mean, I don't know, like, looking at that, I'm looking at it just thinking, maybe I'm better off just switching him to left midfield, and maybe as he gets a little bit older, yeah, Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm saying though. Like, if he's a centre back now, I can grow him. But what I'm saying is he's no good at that position. Like, I'd be forcing him, and I think if I'm right, let me have this. My notes say that his potential range is 54 to 74. So. So you think I should keep him as a centre-back, not a left midfielder? I'm kind of worried about that though, because what if, what if after a couple of weeks, his potential is only 54 and you know, you've only got sort of 10, 15 points to train him into a centre-back? Can't really get rid though, can I? That's the problem. I'm not in a position. I'm Derby County. I've got to like you saw it yourself. If needs too much work. Well, that's why I said it. It's a shortcut, isn't it? Could I not just train him as a left midfielder, switch him, and then sell him for what it's worth, whatever he is? I mean, he's got 66 free kick accuracy and short passing. I'm looking at it, and honestly, I'm just thinking, if I have him as a centre-back, it's going to take forever to get all those stats up, especially on the defensive side. You asked about if he was a default career youth academy player, no, not so. Day one. Yeah. And that's the other thing, like, he's a 6 foot centre-back, but he's no good at heading, no good at interceptions, no good at defensive awareness, no good at stand tackles, no good at slide tackles, and has really poor strength. So I'm just kind of playing to his abilities. Well, that's what I'm saying. He'll never have good defending or strength, so why not switch him to left mid? And then, like you said, if he ends up being shit after, you know, half a season, once he gets to 16, if he then switches position to left midfielder, whatever growth he has left, I can sort of like round him out the best I can. And then if he's no good, if his potential's dropped so bad, I can always promote him at 16 and sell him, and it can chip off some of that 15.5 million. It's not going to be a lot, I know, but that's kind of what I was going with this guy. And the next one, this guy I wanted to show you. So this guy, a 6'2". The common theme you're going to see here, mate, is a lot of them have like really shit strength, and I can't. They're not relative to his size. So this guy, as you can see, his potential is 57 to 77. Brian Verdonk from Belgium, and his attacking work rate and defensive work rates are high. Thankfully, he doesn't have 5-star skill moves, and I want to try and keep it like that. Left-footed, and I've got him on target man simply because I'm looking at his physicality and thinking, no, these guys, let me just show you. I'm not even that far in the calendar, mate. I'm basically just like one week into the calendar, so I haven't scouted these. These are all in the... Look. So, my career began on Thursday the 1st, with played Salernitana, beat them 3-1 while I was waiting for you to finish your carnage, and then here I am on the Monday. So, these aren't scouted players that I've found. These are players that were in the academy from the beginning. And when I jumped on the academy at the beginning, I was thinking to myself, fuck me, 38, 49, 48, I'm just going to bin all these. But then I thought to myself, I've got 15.5 million as a you know, in 3 seasons, I've got to sell 15.5. Right, guys, the plan. I train as a centre back, then switch to a striker plan. You mean that last thing there? Do you mean that for the Belgian striker? Yes, I started with this many players. This is how many I had in my academy. I've never seen that many before myself, like I said. What's actually interesting as well, let me just, I'll be right back, just hold on a minute, I'll be right back, I'll just leave the screen on there. Alright, I'm back. So, yeah, that's how much all those players are the ones we started with. Let me just go to the donk again. So, if I change this guy's position, his training to, you said centre back, isn't that gonna like bump up all his defensive stats though? And surely, like, his strength's gonna go up by 3. Like, his priority is going to be, but he's not going to be heading. Whereas if I go on target man, he's going to get heading increase along with reactions and ball control. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. No, I'm not saying switch, but I'm saying that the actual plan, if I put him on centre back training, all his other stats are going to go up, and I don't really want his defensive stats. But what I'm saying is I can get strength and aggression and heading from the target man thing, like this. You see, heading. If I train as a centre back, his heading's not going to go up. That's the only issue with that. What I can't understand is as a target man, why is his attack positioning not going on? Like, why is the only thing that increases as a target man is his finishing? You know what I'm asking? It's weird, isn't it? Back to the striker thing as well. We've got 3 strikers in the academy already. Verdonk, Papa and Martinez. And then, so even though Rooney's not necessarily a striker, so Rooney's a cam on this, and he's already retiring. And Kazim Richards is retiring. So we're going to lose him. We're going to be basically down to Bobby Duncan and Jack Stratton. He was still very young. So, in light of obviously losing Kazim Richards and Wayne Rooney, I think Sibley's going to probably take Rooney's spot without us having to really dip into the transfer market. But then we're going to have, like I said, there's a bunch of guys here, and even, you know, as I'm going to show you, yeah, I'm at the start of the season. I'm on the 5th of July, I think. The 5th of July? Yeah, Monday the 5th of July, 2021. So I've got the entire season to go. Just beat Salernitana 3-1. Just, let me just check this a minute. Am I allowed to change his hairstyle? Because I realised actually he's got egg in nest there. Look, that's not right, is it? He shouldn't have an egg in the nest. Like, it looks great on the front, because it looks kind of like... it looks great from the front, but then... How about that one? That one's alright, isn't it? It's like a buzz cut. We'll go with that one, I think. That one, yeah, he doesn't have curly hair. What about that one? Is that one too much hair? I think that's too much for what he is right now, isn't it? That one. That one's probably the right one, isn't it? Does look like him though, doesn't it? Like in his face. Wayne Pjanic, exactly, yeah, that's what he's going to be. You stick him in, at least he hasn't got an egg in the nest now. So, you asked the question, why bother with next to impossible? Basically because I'm thinking about the 15.5 million. Yeah, at a distance, that's all we're looking. A knight on a galloping horse ain't going to notice the difference, is it? I'm just thinking about sort of like this financial thing of making a profit from youth player sales, and I'm thinking I can do with everything I can get. So this is a good, you know, this is a big batch of players, and if I'm not going to really use them long term down the line, I'm thinking let them just mature to 16, 17 and sell them off. Like, I'm not bothered where they go, just, I mean, this Ostgaard guy, I can't imagine this guy amounting to much at 38 overall, even though he is 15. So, and then this guy as well. So, this guy's 5'9", and this is the bit, look, 5-star skill moves. '75 to 94 his potential is. Nikos Papa from Greece, and he's a striker centre forward. And the first thing I notice here is, see, with this guy, he's 5'9", so he's not very tall, and he's not very strong. So that kind of, I'm okay with that. Like, I'm thinking, yeah, that kind of makes sense, right? But then you look at Verdonk, who's 6'2", and his strength's 42, and I'm thinking, what's he made out of? Like, why is he so weak? Like, even if his strength was sort of like in the low 50s, like if it was 52, 53, that'd be at least something. But for it to be so low at 42, I mean, Brian Verdonk's 6'2", and he's only 4 points better off in strength than Nikos Papa. And then you've got Pedro Martinez, who's 5'10". His strength is 42. Was it this guy, 5'9"? Look at this guy, right? So Nikola Meshkov from Russia. He's a 15-year-old right wing, left mid, left wing. He's right-footed, 61 to 81 potential, 5'9". And then strength is 57. So this guy's like a beast compared to Verdonk. And then we've got another Greek lad here, 5'7". I've put him on wide playmaker training because he's left-footed. Shit strength, shit stamina. Look at his balance. Exactly. Sorry. I just put my hand on the table and the whole microphone just vibrated. They're basically they're so random and so all over the place. Patrick Blaha, 51 from the Czech Republic. This guy's on wide midfielder training. 56 to 74, 5'8". This guy's got nearly 60 strength. It just makes no sense whatsoever to me. I'm looking at that and I'm thinking, yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't want wonder kids all over the place. Which is kind of why I wanted to try and filter out what I have now and sell them, even if it's only for like 500,000 or 250,000. You know, I don't want to just trash them, even though they are, you know, the start-off guys are shit. But this is just like hilarious. Eureka Illich is a 17-year-old. This guy I can promote now, but he's 49 rated, so he's at least, based on the central midfielders we have right now, who are in the reserves. So if I promoted this guy, he would be in the reserves, but he wouldn't actually get a game. Make sense of it. Like a defensive minded, but with crossing and orange curve and dribbling to left mid, for example. Yeah. The highest rated player we have is Yago Ruiz. We just have a look at him. So left-footed, left midfielder. Potential 68 to 92, and he's already 63 rated. So the problem with this guy is he's 15 years old, so I can't do anything until he actually matures to an age that I can use him. As it stands right now, he would actually get in the rotation lineup. Not in the first team, but he would get games in the rotation lineup based on his overall. Obviously, he's going to be sort of like a left mid, creative left mid. Yeah, exactly. Transfer listed. I mean, the thing I noticed about this Yago Ruiz guy is at least he doesn't have ridiculous skill moves and weak foot and all that business. But the thing that I hate is the fact that he's 63 rated. He's got 3 greens, and our agility 73 is nice. It always bothers me when the sprint speed and acceleration are not close enough to each other. So this guy's got 66 and then 71 on acceleration. And then, like, his vision's 73, and then he's got 73 curve, free kick accuracy 77. Balance and positioning, and you can see his other stuff. Like, well, the thing that I was looking at with this guy is, if I remember correctly, so his stamina here is going to go up by so this guy, Yeah, so this thing that I was looking at here was his ball control's 58, but his dribbling 64. And I wanted his ball control to be in the low 60s or at least mid 60s. So from his left midfield position, if he's unbalanced, I get basically that. And it's going to take him 12 weeks to get where, you know, where he's going to go up. And the thing is wide playmaker, it increases dribbling, but it's already on 64 and I don't want that to go up. But it does increase his stamina. Wide midfielder does ball control and his composure. His composure's already 68. And his short passing. His passing's one of the biggest attributes. Inverted wide midfielder doesn't do ball control. I want ball control to go up. Now you see, with what I liked about this one was that his sprint speed goes up without affecting his acceleration. But the problem is his dribbling's going to go beyond his ball control. That's why I didn't want to do it. And once again, his vision's being increased when I didn't really want his vision to be increased. Support midfielder does both that. Now this one, his long passing's going to go up, his reactions are going to go up, his sprint speed and acceleration, his stamina, and crossing. The only thing that I didn't like about them is defensive work rate. I didn't want him to become a defensive beast. Centre forward, he said. Let's try centre forward. So ball control 58, reaction 61. His vision's still going to get increased on 73. That's the problem with that one. Although his heading will go up, his stamina will not go up. See, the two that you're looking at there is ball control 58, stamina 57. Attacking midfielder does ball control, but it doesn't do stamina. Left winger does ball control and dribbling and attack position and finishing. Does agility, but doesn't do stamina. Striker does strength, but doesn't do stamina and doesn't do ball control. That's kind of why I picked central midfielder, but like you just pointed out, the vision's going to go like ridiculous. Not so much of an athlete, so stamina isn't that important. Prioritise ball control, balance. So should we, with this guy, should we go back to, what did you say, wide midfielder? Should we go back to that? Because then at least his ball control does go up. CDM. That's going to increase. That's not going to increase ball control. It does increase passing without vision. So that's worthwhile noting. And he would get an increase in stamina and strength, which... What about left back? What does that do? Oh, defensive. Centre back? No. Left wing back? So right midfielder, that increases acceleration and ball control. Again, some of those ones, like the acceleration is going to get ridiculous, especially vision as well. is just such a shit, because there's that one position there, that one attribute, ball control, and it doesn't appear that we can do ball control without affecting the vision, which is already something that we have. See, even centre forward. See, right winger increases ball control and agility, but doesn't increase vision or on the others. And left winger as well. The thing with the left wing training is that What about this one? What about this one? Ball control 58, stamina 57. Long passing's going to go a little bit crazy, and so is his pace. But it's a plan that it increases his ball control a lot without affecting his long shots or his vision. This might be our best one. The only problem is his work rate's going to shoot up. His work rate's going to get ridiculous. But then, later on down the line, if he does have that much potential. No. So what do you think then, wide midfielder? Wide. Because wide playmaker doesn't train him. Wide midfielder. Or should I go for winger again? Should I go winger? One of the forward positions, winger. Centre forward trains all that. Centre forward, long shots is only 2 on that one. Should I do that? And then just hope that the vision doesn't get ridiculous. So it's centre forward or left winger. Well, with left winger's going to train. Yeah, that's the thing. Striker's not going to think it's going to increase long shots. The winger ones are out. Yeah, that's what I thought, because the long shots just seem to get pumped up too much. I mean, centre forward at least does do that, and it's only on 2. But like you said, the vision's going to go ridiculous. An attacking midfielder's just going to give him ridiculous long shots and vision as well. Switch to cam. What, like that? It's only going to take 4 weeks. And you see right midfielder, yeah, vision's going to get smashed there, isn't it? That's the problem with that right midfielder one. Yeah, play around with it. Yeah. What about this one? Wide midfielder. Yeah, it is better. I was saying that earlier today. The vision only goes up twice. Short passing goes up a lot, and ball control goes up a lot. What if I have this wide midfielder and then switch to, what did you say before? A cam first, because then at least I'll get from cam training. I'll at least get attack position. This is only going to take 4 weeks, the wide midfielder. I could do that just until his ball control goes up to 61, 62, whatever it's going to be. Yeah. Yeah, use the position plan. Yeah, that's right. Use the position plans, not actually switching position. Yeah. But yeah, with this guy, with Ruiz, it's kind of like ball control, and then, not hoping that some of the other things don't just get ridiculous. I like the fact that he's got 77 on free kick accuracy and 73 on curve, because that's not something that I probably need to train up an awful lot. And he does have, according to my notes here, he has 68 to 92 potential, so that range is pretty good. If I have him as a wide midfielder and then change him to a cam, yeah, I think what I do is I make a note on each player to basically come in and check the training plan every week or every other 2 weeks so that it doesn't go ridiculous. I mean, at the end of the day, if you end up selling them anyway once they get to 16, it's not really going to matter too much. But in the eventuality that you end up wanting to keep 1 or 2 players for the rotation team, you want them to feel somewhat responsive in the game. Eureka Illich, left mid, central mid, and this guy doesn't have the technical qualities really to play in that role, but they can always be trained. Well, some people can be trained. He's already got 4-star skill moves, but no strength. Eureka probably rhymes with pizza. Yeah, I would imagine it would. I could eat pizza right now. Don't know about you. Martinez. Yeah, this guy. Who is this guy with 16-year-old Ecuadorian striker? Rashita, yeah. And this guy, jumping, reactions and strength. Too cold to get up. Oh no. Oh no, don't die. You'll miss the Derby County career mode. You can't die on me now. Can you not get any soup then? Yeah, it's pretty bad, isn't it? It's really bad. The only one really that I probably like out of all them, I'm not gonna lie, is Yago Ruiz. Mainly for his free kicks. I think he could really do. We could really do something with this guy. And again, with him being 5'7", I'm not concerned too much about him not being strong. But if I can improve his other stuff and round him out. Drink it with a straw, molten steel. Wouldn't that burn the straw though? I'm sorry to put a downer on it, but if you've got molten steel in a thing, drink, the straw, this plastic, isn't it going to melt? You won't get it, like, close to your mouth. It's, exactly. This guy impressed me, Graham Shinney. Look at those traits. Solid player, dives into tackles, leadership and team player. Yeah, Ruiz is the only salvageable one, I think. The one that I think, we promote him, he comes in, get him in either get him in the rotation lineup and get him some games, or send him out on loan so that he can develop, in the background. But the rest of them, I think, are basically just going to get spam transfer listed. There's a little bit of promise here in Meshkov. I know he looks pretty bad right now, but he's only 15. And I like the fact that he's got 57 strength, which doesn't sound like a lot, but he's one of the stronger players that are in the team. I guess we'll just have to wait and see. There's a lot of 15-year-olds in here. That's the thing I noticed. I've got a lot of this, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 players. I've almost got an entire squad. Yeah, so probably loan him out then. 63 rated. Once he gets to 16, promote him and loan him out. Because then I'm just kind of leaving it to chance then. What the game, maybe I could sort of save it before the updates are done for the what, sell? I know I don't want to sell Ruiz. Ruiz is our boy, man. We've got to keep him on and do something with him. He's going to be Wayne Rooney's wonder kid. I don't know, man. I think if we're going to keep it somewhat realistic, I think all of them are going to get sold. We're just literally going to become a conveyor belt for youth academy players. And then the other big thing as well, while you're on, was the financial impact of 30 a season to Barcelona under 18. Yeah, I mean, he should be, really. He shouldn't certainly be in Derby County. But this right here, so we've got a couple of players, a handful of players. Duncan, Jason Knight, who looks pretty promising. He's 2.5 million at 20, and he can play in central mid, cam, and left mid. Louis Sibley, we kind of know about. He looks promising on a 3-year deal. Kamil Joswiak, who, again, winger, pacey winger type guy, scored 2 in the 3-1 win against Salernitana. And then Max Bird, who's 20. So a couple of guys that are on the younger side signed to long-term deals. And that's just, I'm going to say 5. There's 5 players there that are on multi-season deals. The rest of the team, every single player, other than the 5 that I've just shown you, are all on 1-year contracts. But we're faced with the idea, with the proposition that come the end of the season, we're literally having to do a rebuild again with our existing squad, let alone the guys that are going to be going. Yeah, Everton would be a good shout, I think. So Rooney's retiring, so we're just going to have to get whatever we can from Rooney this year, and he's already on the decline. Look at how much he's worth, 9 million. But we're not selling him, obviously. We're not selling him. And yeah, Colin Kazim Richards is retiring, so he's going. So we don't have to worry about. I mean, it's shit in the sense that we're going to be losing two quality players. One 68 rated, the other one, you know, a 9 million legend, 9 million valued legend at 35. We're going to be losing those guys, but the wage that they're on, 6k and 9k, could end up being quite valuable to us, actually. The fact that they're going. And they're going to be declining anyway. And then the big problem I have now is looking ahead would be Stearman's 33. He's not retiring, but his contract's expiring. And then Curtis Davies is 36. He's not retiring, but his contract is expiring in 12 months. So it's kind of like I've got, in Cashin and Brown, I've got two guys that are going to come in. They're both centre-backs, both young. The problem is with them is they're not at the same level. So you know, get Gary Cahill in. Yeah, exactly. Phil Jagielka even. I think they had him recently, didn't they? Jagielka, didn't he leave? But that'd be the first. Like, Keller Roos is obviously him and Marshall. I think Roos has got slightly better stats as a goalkeeper. Even though Marshall's positioning is 68, Roos is only 66. Roos naturally has better diving and kicking. They're the same on reflexes. Who did you get offered a place for Jagielka then? So the main focus, I think, in the rebuild during the season is literally going to be bringing in out of contract guys or academy guys, youth guys. Yeah, it'd be nice if you could just take a real manager. It'd be really nice. Spain and France. What, Phil Jagielka to Spain and France? I tell you what I did see, which was quite hilarious, was something a couple of days ago. And it was, I think it was BS, but it said something like, Juventus are monitoring the situation at West Ham with David Moyes. And I'm thinking to myself, David Moyes at West Ham, going from West Ham to Juventus. It's like something that you would see on FIFA and go, no, that's not realistic. But again, like I said, yeah, Fabregas doing a Segunda Division team would be pretty good, actually. I think that would be pretty good, and it'd be interesting. Interesting to see what you do with one of them, because, like I said, you've done you did Bournemouth before, didn't you? And you did Portsmouth in the past. But yeah, I mean, just looking at these two, looking at their potentials, their potential is around 68. So with enough games, they would eventually get to the level that we need them to be at. But I don't feel like by the end of this season they're going to be at that level. So when Stearman and Davies, if we don't re-sign them and they just end up signing for somebody else, we really need to sort of be looking at guys around, I would say 65, 66 to come in and play centre back. But with the view of them being 68, 69 potential players at age 24, 25, but available on a free contract. So what I've asked my scouts to do on the GTN, they're basically looking for any position promising, and then any position first team quality with 1 year left on the contract. And so, as you can see here, I like how, have you noticed this one as well? Craig Gordon. So my scouts found Craig Gordon, who we already know about. He's retiring at the end of the season. He's like, you can't approach a retiring player. He's like, so why are you suggesting him to me? What good is that? Like, if he's retiring, why are you showing him? Like, he shouldn't even be in the list. Like, hey, we found you a goalkeeper you might be interested in, but he's retiring, so you can't assign him. What's the fucking point in that? This guy was pretty interesting. Yeah, I mean, it's not going to be something that I act on right away. Like, there's only one centre-back there, so like I said, I need a range of centre-backs to be able to sort of look at it and go, right, probably bring this guy in. I don't think, as well, like, I want to try and keep it somewhat realistic. I'm not going to go out and sign, you know, Virgil van Dijk. Not only that, we can't afford to sign him, but, you know, even if he was available on a free contract, it's stupid to go out and sign the best players straight away. So I think maybe take a look at, you know, I had a feeling that when I showed you the youth players, I had a feeling you'd say that they'd all get in the bin. And that's the first instinct I had, but I'm probably going to end up just letting them mature and then seeing what I might save it, promote them, see what they're worth, whether they're worth promoting and selling, or whether I should just like bin them off. And we don't know, like, I don't know when these guys, some of them at 16, Illich at 17, again, at 49 overall, I'm not going to see much for him. I'm going to have to wait for him to sort of like get any better. Usually somewhere around the mid-50s, you can usually get some kind of transfer for him. But what I did find interesting is, as you pointed out, I mean, this thing's ridiculous. He's a centre-back, CDM left-back, who's 5-star skill moves and 5-star weak foot, but he has no defensive qualities even though he's a centre-back and left-back. He's 6 foot with no strength. It's just so weird. So weird. But yeah, like 9 players in the academy already, which what, Ostgaard pisses you off? What, because of how bad he is? I knew as soon as I sent a message to you about him, I knew you'd take a look at him and see how bad he is. So I think when I eventually do sit down and play Girona, which will probably be later, and then the last game is against Nuremberg. He's a waste of pixels. He is. He really is. Yeah, FC Nuremberg. Hopefully, if we get a good result against Girona, hopefully the final group game isn't really going to mean that much. But I think in the next game, Sibley played alright, but I think in the next game I want to try Rooney in the middle and see how he does. And probably give Bruce a game because Marshall played the last one. And just basically swap the players out and see what they're like in the game first. He picked up a yellow card, Sturman. So out hovering around the 7 as the rating. Nathan Byrne. Oh yeah, he was subbed off, so he actually got a clean sheet. And then we conceded the goal. 6.5. This guy has a poor, but he says he's in poor form. I've only played him once, and he came on as a sub for the last 20 minutes. Got a 6.6, and he's in poor form apparently. Max Bird got an assist and a clean sheet. Graham Shinney. A bit harsh, that 7. I thought he had at least a 7.5 in the last game. Tom Lawrence with an assist already. And Jason Knight, who assisted the 3rd goal. Louis Watson. This guy was good. Bad form, yeah, a goal off the bench and he's in bad form. He's strange, isn't it? So this guy in the European Shield. Interesting, funny enough, Jozwiak's first goal, who cut in from the right side. His shot hit the goalie's face and went in. And it's funny because I see this stuff on Twitter and stuff like, oh, goalies are better this year. And I see stuff like that and go, they're not though. They're better in some ways, but not better in other ways. So we're going to see probably a lot of spread in terms of appearances this year in the first season. Because I want to try and see, like, if it's Rooney, he's going to give everybody a chance. And then, so we kick off our season against Huddersfield at home. And that's Harrogate in the Cup. Is that the... what Cup's that? Round 1 of the Carabao. So round 1 of the Carabao, we got Harrogate away. And then, who's that? Is that Peterborough? Peterborough in the Championship, are they? I didn't know Peterborough in the Championship. Hull City away. Middlesbrough at home, and then Nottingham Forest at home. And according to those rankings that I have from the beginning of career mode this year, so Huddersfield, they're ranked 3-star, the same as Derby. Harrogate's a given, should be anyway. Peterborough, they're rated 2.5. If I could get myself a draw or scrape a win, I could be on 4 points between those 2 games. Hull City away is going to be a hard game. In the kick-off mode, prior to doing the the slider change, that's the game that ended up being ridiculous, like 8-5 or something. It went fucking bananas. So I don't know what to expect from that. They're ranked 2.5 stars, so being away from home, I don't know what to expect from that. Middlesbrough at home, 3-star, and Nottingham Forest, 3-star. So not a terrible opening. Certainly enough room there to get points on the board. Sheffield United away is going to be a loss. West Brom away is going to be a loss. Who's this at home? Whose house is that badge? Is that Reading? Reading, is it? Derby versus Reading. So, Reading at home, they're 3-star. Stoke at home. We got a good result against them in the... And then October, Swansea, Luton, Preston. There's actually some games there in October that we could pick points up in. So even if we get off to a pretty slow start in August and September, October looks like a month that we could actually get some results, especially because there's 3 home games there: Swansea, Luton and Blackburn. And then November, Bournemouth at home is going to be tough, and Fulham away. Back-to-back games, that's going to be a tough. November's a lot. We've got to get something in October because November's going to be pretty rough on us. And December's always hard because of the amount of games that you play. We're playing 5, and if we've got a cup game as well. Cardiff. There's a week to go there. Who's our last game of the season against? I know it's a long way away. Cardiff. May the 7th, Cardiff. And we're at home. Well, hopefully, come May the 7th, hopefully we'll be putting Kazim, Richards and Rooney out for the final game of the season. Yeah, I know you wouldn't do it, but I wanted to do it just because I wanted to sort of like do it as realistic as possible. And like I said, if you deduct the points deduction that's been taken off them, if you look at the wins and drawn and losses, the record, they'd actually be mid-table anyway, which is why I was kind of shooting for that as an objective, and then I could build on it. I think it's going to be hard enough as it is, just sort of getting the results based on the feedback I'm getting by playing the games. That I did, those kick-off matches that I did, the 10 kick-off matches, played 10, won 4, drawn 2, lost 4, that is honestly mid-table anyway, so yeah, I think there's going to be enough there for me to sort of like play around with and have a good season. Yeah, you couldn't loan in Gallagher even if your life depended on it. Oh, hello. Yeah, well, with this guy, you'll see, come episode 1, when I do episode 1, you'll see me transforming from you could do Chiellini, the Juventus centre-back. He's 36, going to be 37 this year. If you want something really low down, you know, if you were doing Sutton United, you could do Matty Bloomfield. I think he's still on the game at Wickham. But this guy, this Rooney that I made here is the player that I made from the last FIFA update, and I made him in. Yeah, you could do that. That'd be the one, wouldn't it? Fabregas. Yeah, take him to England. You always do in England though. Do something else for a change. You always do in England. I think that's what made me want to do Derby as well. Like, I spent somewhere between 2 or 3 hours yesterday just going through these players in the squad up, because I don't know any of the players from Derby properly. I know Curtis Davies from his days playing in the Premier League. And Tom Lawrence, funny enough, I saw his name on a Man United team sheet the other day from a few years ago. He actually was in the Man United squad, but I don't think he actually played a lot of games for United. I think he was more of a a youth academy guy, and going back a while back now, but Christmas tree formation, that sounds good. We all know who Wayne Rooney is. And then the same with Kazim Richards is another guy that I already know from. So it's probably just Kazim Richards, Rooney who are created, Curtis Davies and David Marshall. So those are the 3 or 4 guys that I actually know. The rest of the squad, that's kind of why I was drawn to do United. That and the fact that obviously Wayne Rooney's situation at Derby is kind of like, yeah, my second choice. Well, that's the thing, like, with these guys, I don't think they're really fighting. I think for the bulk of the games are going to go to Kelly Roos, simply because he has the better goalkeeping stats at the minute. And basically Marshall's like the solid, because he's 36, he's a solid, dependable veteran. But I do think that, you know, send the academy coach out, to the academy guy out to scout, to look for, try and find me a good goalkeeper. Just before I switch everything off, because I'm getting kind of tired and I need to go sort the kids out, but before I do all that, as far as the actual scouts go, going out to like regions, do you think I should stick to the home countries at first? Like in sort of England, I could do like Wales, maybe go to Wales and see whether I can find anybody in Wales first. Because the thing that I've noticed in Derby's genetic makeup, if you take Kelly Roos out and you put Marshall in. Shut the door. Shut the door. I'll be back out in a minute. If you take, if you put David Marshall, shut the door. Natalie, shut the door. Okay. If you take Kelly Roos out and put David Marshall in, he's Scottish, and then there's only Kamil Joswiak and Colin Kazim Richards. You know, if I had Bobby Duncan there, and then on the wing, you know, if one of the other guys were playing there, like Louis Watson, they'd basically be on all British Isles side, really. It sounds like it, doesn't it? It sounds like it's all kicking off. Do you think, because the guy Harley Nelson, with him being English, do you think I should just send him to England for 9 months and see what he can find me then? And just keep sort of like bringing... Because you mentioned it before, didn't you, about the current youth academy? There isn't really these days. Hold on a minute. Right, mate, with that, I'm going to have to go. You're right, it is all kicking off. I best get going. But yeah, basically all these players that I have in here, none of them are homegrown home nations. They're all from different foreign nations. So it might be, yeah, kids, exactly. It might be best, like you said then, if I promote them and sell them straight away, transfer list them, and just replace them with, you know, homegrown players. Especially if I'm going to make it somewhat realistic. It won't matter so much then, sort of what they end up being as. It kind of makes me wonder as a little side experiment how much I could actually get for them all once I get them to 16. How much it ends up being, you know, how much it generates and how much it knocks off the 15.5 million that I've got. Yeah, and I think when the guy goes out looking at home nations, I don't necessarily need somebody that's going to be a 75 to 94 potential guy, because I'd end up having to sell him anyway once he gets £2. 30 quid and some change. Wow. Now I think we'll get more than that, especially for Ruiz. Even now, Ruiz at 63 overall. Have we got anybody that's 63 in there? He's 59. 61. What am I doing? Alright, just scroll down here a minute. Now we don't really have a 63 rated guy. We've got Louis Watson and Hutchinson. Yeah, I think that's what I'm going to do when I do the scout search. I'll probably cheese reload it, so then if I get one that's like ridiculously good, like a, you know, a 60 plus guy that's going to come through, keeping in mind the overall ratings of the first team, keeping in mind the rebuild that we're going to have to do. There's one or two players here, you know, Shinny, Lawrence, Joswiak. They're, you know, only just above 70. And Nathan Burnett right back at 71. So keep that in mind. That's kind of just below there, I would say, would be you mean the actual, so the one I've got right now, Harvey Nelson, is a 4-star experience and 2-star judgment. Yeah, ideally I'd like that the other way around. It's like 4 and 2. Ideally I want a 3 and 3, don't I? And I'd like him to try and keep them, because it is Wayne Rooney, I'd like him to try and keep them within the home nations. Really. So I'll have to wait sort of like a week. Yeah, don't go over 6 total, that's what I thought. So if I can try and get these, fill out these positions with 3-star, 3-star, I'll be great. And it'll also bump some off the transfer budget, which is kind of what I wanted as well. I think they end up being about, a 3-star, 3-star usually ends up being about 800,000 or $1 million. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. I think so. Right, mate, I best get going. I do thank you for jumping on. I'll try and get back on again soon. And be able to update. And obviously this week I want to try and get episode 1 out as well. So I'll keep an eye out for that. I'll be doing that. I basically just want to sort of get pre-season and all this crap out for now and go and get the kids sorted. I'll speak to you on PlayStation Network, no doubt, in a bit. Thanks for stopping by.